is Andrea from Adams Memorial Library, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make our May flowers craft. So this craft is for kids, teens, or the whole family, so make sure you come and pick yours up. You can pick them up curbside or at the front desk. Okay, so for our May flowers craft today, you will need to pick up that craft kit. Inside your craft kit, you should get a toilet paper roll, a cup of glue, some paper straws, and then you'll also be receiving different colors of computer paper and a sheet of white. So you will need all of that for our craft today. To go ahead and get started, I'm going to put my toilet paper roll aside for a moment, and I'm going to pick up my paper straws. Now, the first part we're going to be making is the vase. In order to do that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your paper straws and just kind of cut them in half. Okay. See over there? Now, you want to kind of make sure you eyeball it a little bit here, just so you make sure you're about halfway up the straw. If you'd like it to go a little over the top of your vase, then what you may want to do is cut a little more than halfway. Okay, so you can do varying sizes around your vase. So you can see I've kind of done that here with my initial one I made. I just cut different sizes. So you can even hold it up to your toilet paper roll to help you with that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. If I want to get more exact, and if you want to get more exact, you can hold it up, and I will warn you about flying paper straws if you try to cut more than once, as you probably just saw there. So just take caution while cutting. All right, so once you have those cut, if you're cutting your straws in half to go around, you're going to need a total of these 12 paper straws. So next I'm going to take my cup of glue, and then I'm going to use this paintbrush that I have here. You are more than welcome to use, if you have an old paintbrush at home, sometimes Q-tips will work. Any of that will help you. So what you want to do is just take a good heaping and spread it over your toilet paper roll. All right, and once you have a good amount started there, you can start to take your paper straws and lay them like this. Now, what you want to do is you want to determine which side you want to make the bottom and which side you want to make the top of your vase. And the reason that is because when you're gluing on your paper straws, you want to make sure, so if I'm going to make this my bottom, I want to make sure that my paper straw meets it and it doesn't extend over the bottom. Because what happens is if you do it that way, your vase is not going to stand very well. So you want to make sure you line it up right towards the edge of your toilet paper roll, okay? And you just want to lay them right next to each other. So again, here you can see they're a little bit different lengths. You can choose to do yours that way. You can make them all the same length. That's your preference. And then what I like to try to do, and again, this is up to you, I try to use different colors as I go around. Gives a nice little pop at the end. All right. And you may run into where you have one that is just a little too long. That's okay. Just go ahead and put it on, let it dry, and you can always cut it down later. All right. And the Elmer's glue does dry nicely, and it will hold your paper straws nicely onto the toilet paper roll, but it does take some time to dry. So you want to make sure that once you put them on, you give it some time to sit so that glue can completely dry. Okay. Just gonna kind of keep going around, and you want to press them right up against each other, and you can see it starting to form around there. Now, like I said, this is kind of that glue that you're going to have to give it some more time to dry. So what I think helps is, say you go maybe halfway or partial way around your toilet paper roll here. And then I would just kind of let it sit off to the side for those first half of your paper straw sticks to dry. So you can either set it up this way or set it to the side. Sometimes I do think it's better to set it like this. Okay, so I'm just going to put that off to the side and let it start drying. Now, while I'm waiting for that first half to dry, I can start to make my flowers. All right, so to make your flowers, you're going to need, put your paper straws aside, all you're going to need is that colored paper that you have in your kit. Move this off out of the way here. Okay. So you can see on my sample ones that I have here, I chose to do a orange and yellow, and on this one I did a yellow and blue. You can mix and match however you'd like. I first started by making my little centerpiece of my flower here, and what I did was, if you have something like a glue stick at home, now you want to get maybe one of the little bit bigger glue sticks, so maybe not one of the minis, but a glue stick or something around this size at home, and all I did was chose the color that I wanted, placed the glue stick down, and then I traced it. Let me grab my pencil here. And your center of your flower doesn't have to be the exact size as mine. You just want to get it around this size. And if you find that you made it too big or too small, you can either cut a new one, or always you can cut it down so that it's smaller. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. All right, and so there I have my center of my flower. I'm going to put this aside for now, and I think I'm going to do another orange one that I have here. So I have the centerpiece of my flower. To make the petals, all I did was I took my sheet of paper and then I held it, let's cut a little horizontally, okay, so that it was cross. And then what I did to get the width of my petals, and again, this is where you can differ. You can choose to make them thinner. You can choose to make them thicker. That's completely up to you. What I did to get this size, if you like this size, was I took a ruler that I had at home, or you could even use just a finger, and I made mine about 1/2 inch. So I lined up the ruler, measured about 1/2 inch, and just went across. To make this many petals that you see here, what I did was I measured and I cut 5 strips. So they're 5 1/2-inch strips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And I didn't even measure the other side. I just chose to take my scissors. You can see where I've made my little marks here. And then just cut my strips straight down. Again, they don't have to be perfectly straight. Actually, I think when you don't make them perfectly straight, they give your flowers a little bit more of a character. I went ahead and cut my 5 strips here. Okay, I'll set that aside for now. Okay, so I have my 5 strips. And then what I did was I just kind of eyeballed them. And I thought, oh, that one looks a little bit too thick. Then I just cut it down. So you can adjust them as soon as you have them cut as well. Once you have them cut to the right size, you want to make sure that you have at least 5. And then I kind of put them in a stack like this so that they're all together. And then I cut about halfway. So I figured out this is about halfway of my strip. And I cut them in half. So now I have a total of 10 of these orange strips. Okay. And this is where you will need your glue again. You can use the glue that we provided in the kit, or if you have a glue stick at home, that'll also hold for this part. But what I did was I put a little glue at one of the ends, and then my other end with no glue, folded it in and pressed. So there I have one petal. Do the same thing again for each one of my petals. And sometimes they will come apart as you're letting them dry. That's okay. You can always just add more glue. I'm not putting a lot on mine, just a little, just enough. And you might want to press it down for a couple seconds so that it helps hold it too. All right, so you can see I have my petals already started going here. So I'm going to set these other aside for now. And I'm going to take my centerpiece. Now, in order to attach these to the centerpiece, all you want to do is pick which side you want to be your front or back. Put some glue on the back, like so. And then you want to take your petals and glue them right to the back. Now, what I like to do is just initially lay them down. I might have to add a little more glue. So I usually start with about 4 petals on there just to see where I'm at. Okay, so here's my 4 petals so far. Now, usually from there, I'll flip it back over, add a little more glue, and then keep placing them on. And again, I can flip it over to see where I'm at. Now you can leave your flower with that many petals if you want to cut more or glue more to put on. You absolutely can. I'm going to leave mine right there for now. You can see I did add a couple more onto this. Again, I just kind of kept flipping it over to see where they were. Okay, or to see where I wanted to add a petal. So once I have my flower pretty much done or how I want it to be, I'm going to flip it to the back again so you can see the side that you've glued the orange strips onto. And then this is where you want to take out your paper straws. Now you will need a full paper straw for this. And all you want to do is just like we were doing before, just throw a nice healthy amount of glue on the back. And then you just want to stick your paper straw right to it. Maybe press down for a few moments. All right. And then again, you're going to have to give it time to let it dry. So I would just let it slide off to the side, and you can either start making another flower, or this might be a good time to revisit your vase. Continue to add glue and go around until you can see, like I have in my example one, all of your straws around your vase. Okay. So I'm going to let this glue aside for one moment. I'm going to let my flower off to the side here to dry. I have my vase drying over here. The last thing that you want to do, or that you want to work on, is you want to make a bottom for your vase, so that way when you pick it up, your flowers are not going to be falling out. And that's what you're going to need this white paper for. Okay. To do the white paper, I traced the bottom of my vase. So after I had the straws on, if you choose, you can also find another size shape. You can also use the bottom part of your glue thing. You just want to make sure that you cut your circle big enough that it covers up the bottom of the vase. All right. So what I did was I went ahead and traced with my pencil. I traced around, cut out that shape, and then I got this circle. Okay. And then once you have all your straws glued on and it's pretty sturdy or pretty dry, enough that your straws are not falling off, what you want to do is then go ahead and attach the bottom. So in order to do that, all I did was, once again, I put more glue. I tried to stick, let me do this on the blue so you can see it here. I tried to stick my glue around the edges of my circle because I really want it to hit where the edge of my vase is. You can see that here. All right. And all I did was lay it flat with my glue on it. Stuck my vase down on it. And again, flip it over to make sure it's on there nicely. And then I'm going to put it off to the side so that it can dry. Okay. So once my vase has all the straws around it and the bottom has been attached and it's ready to dry, or it's pretty dry or ready to move on, I can check my flower again. Flower looks pretty good. And then they are ready to go inside my vase. Okay. And one last thing I'd like to point out is, like I said before, if you have a straw that's really tall, once it's dried, you can always cut that down. You can also cut down your stem. So if you would like your flowers to be shorter, you can choose to cut that down as well, or you can leave it the full length and it'll sit just like that in your vase. And you can do as many flowers as you like. All right. And there you have your May flowers vase. I just want to thank everyone for joining us, and I want to send out a special thanks to our friend Joycelyn Helmetzi and the Thrivent team for making this wonderful craft possible. I also want to remind you all to please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for any of our upcoming craft events or other library programs. And happy crafting!